Always be nice. Don't hurt anybody's feelings. Don't get into a conflict. If you have nothing nice to say nothing at all. Many of us have been hearing those words throughout our lives, and we learned to live by them. And it worked out pretty okay. Everybody likes us. Everybody smiles. But sometimes something is missing. There are situations where we should speak up. We should say something needs changing, something is wrong. But often we don't. And it is easier this way. But is it better? Let's imagine this situation. Kate is baking her first cake ever, and she brings it to work. She's so excited about that everybody says, it's really yummy, while they think it's pretty awful, and they put part of it under a plant. But they don't want to hurt her feelings. She's so encouraged by this praise, so the next week she brings another one. And then another one. The situation is getting tricky, because people kind of don't want to eat it, but they haven't told her before. Should they do it now? Why didn't we tell her before? It's getting awkward, and it's getting harder and harder to give this feedback. So it can end here, but maybe she will go to a different party with a different set of people, and then everybody will be like, and will not eat it. And then she will realize something was wrong, but why didn't anybody tell me? Another example. Let's say Adam has performance problems. His manager tells him, the volume of your deliveries could be higher. And he also mentioned that his project could have gone a little faster. But the feedback he got is not really actionable. He doesn't know the details. He didn't hear any examples. So he thinks, oh, well, everybody's volume of deliveries can be higher, always. And this project is not really about me. I had to learn a little bit of those technologies, and the other team was a little late. There is nothing to worry about. His peers do not give him feedback either, but they notice it, and they stop giving him good projects. They don't really want to work with him, so they marginalize him. And then the performance evaluation comes. And the manager says, Adam, you have not been meeting expectations for the last 10 months, and you are getting a bad grade. What's even worse, he's close to being fired. And he's thinking, what has just happened here? Giving feedback is hard. Actually, giving and receiving are both hard. But what happens if we don't give it? The situation doesn't improve, and it is getting worse, and it is getting harder and harder to provide that feedback. I was actually pretty scared of giving feedback myself. And I thought, those colleagues are my friends. And how could I tell them they are doing something wrong? And actually, yeah, they're calling it constructive, right? Well, it's really negative, so, I better skip it. But then I realized that, first of all, it's not about them. It's about their actions, about their behaviors. And if they don't change it, the situation will not improve for them for sure. And they will actually not grow. They will not succeed. So probably it's better for me to tell them when something needs correction. So we touched base on whether and why to give feedback. And now I would like to share with you how to do it. At Google, we have a pretty strong culture of giving feedback. It's both peer-to-peer, you give it up, you give it down. So we have quite a few resources. And I would like to tell you about 2 of them today, which work especially good for me. The first one is called SBI, and it stands for Situation, Behavior, Impact. So what do, we describe when and where something happened, then what actually happened, and what effect it had. So we can say, at today's meeting situation, you did the behavior, and I felt the impact. So later, after you do this, you can also request an action that should be done instead. And this way, you encourage the preferred behavior and you discourage the undesired behavior. So let's look at an actual example. Yesterday, we agreed that at the customer's meeting, I'm going to do the pitch, and you're going to sit quiet and take notes. However, at today's meeting, you interjected my pitch with many comments. I feel that our message will be clearer if only one person was speaking. I would like you to stick to what we agreed on before. So this is pretty clear and snap. Delivering positive feedback is a little easier, but let's talk about it too. First, we do SBI. Then we talk about it a little bit. And then when we are done, we say thank you. What's a little bit harder is how to deliver the constructive feedback. So here, we want to do SBI first. Then we are listening to the reaction, because it is pretty possible that a person will have questions, comments. They will sometimes push back, and they will not know what's going on. So here we want to definitely listen, and then try to develop the plan together. Then we want to listen more and keep developing the plan. And after we are both happy with the results, we say thank you, and that's it. So this is SBI, and definitely recommend it. And now I would like to tell you about the second framework. It's called Radical Candor, and it's created by Kim Scott. Kim looks at two dimensions here. The first one is to care personally. When we enter the workforce, we are told, be professional. And for some people, it translates to leave your emotions, your humanity, and your best self at work. And they can start behaving a little bit like a robot. But here at work, we have real relationships. At least it's better to have them. It's like majority of our daytime during the week is at work. So we want to have those relationships. And the robots don't really have relationships, and they don't really care. So what we want to do here is to be more than professional. We would like to create an environment where we can bring our best selves to work, and everybody around us can bring their best selves to work. The other dimension is to challenge directly. When I started the presentation, I told you the quotes that we are hearing, which means that we learned to live by, if you have nothing nice to say nothing at all. And we saw that if we don't say it, where it leads us, right? But we don't really want to piss people off. So we are going to the other side of the spectrum. We run away from the problem. So let's look right now what happens if any of those dimensions is missing. Let's start with obnoxious aggression. So we don't care personally, but we do challenge. So let's say a person did a presentation, and then they got the feedback. Oh my gosh, did you even rehearse this presentation before? How about you have some slides next time? You were saying all the time, staring everywhere like you didn't know what to say? Hello, maybe next time you at least prepare. So what has happened here? The person got the feedback. Actually, it might be pretty effective because they heard what they did wrong. They even got some tips what to do better next time. But will they ever want to present again? And will they ever want to talk to this person again? Probably not so much. Then, if we are neither caring personally nor challenging directly, we are in the manipulative insincerity. So here we care more about ourselves than the other person. So we can say, this is my TL. Why would I tell anything about this presentation? She will not like me. And actually, she will figure it out by herself. That's fine. Another example is that we know that this person is not doing very well in their current role. Maybe they should change the project, and maybe they would do much better there, but I actually need them in my team. I will not tell them anything. Again, it will be better for me, but not for them. If we, though, care personally, but we still don't challenge directly, we are in the ruinous empathy quadrant. So here, after the presentation, we will hear, oh, don't worry, it was really, really good. Huh? What do you mean you got those bad grades? Like, those people must be just jealous. Like, don't listen to them. You did great. So it is nice that somebody has our back, that they want to cheer us up. But is it really setting us up for success? We will make the same mistakes again. We will not learn from anything. And our situation will not improve. So what we want to do is we want to get into both caring personally and challenging directly. So we want to be in the radical candor quadrant. And that here, this feedback could be, at today's presentation, you were missing the slides, and it looked like you were a little unprepared. It caused some of the people to leave halfway through the presentation, and also it made our team look unprepared. So it would be great if next time you prepare in advance, you rehearse it, and you can also offer your help. I'm here to help you, and we can do it together. I can review it. We can also ask somebody else to help us with that. So here what we are doing is we are telling them exactly what they need to correct, how to do it. We are pretty specific. We do it pretty quickly. But at the same time, we care about them, and we want them to be at their best. Some people think that we should be in the ruinous empathy quadrant before we move to radical candor, in order to build a relationship and the trust. But really, when we are being very honest, we want people to grow, we want them to succeed, and they see it, we will build the relationship and the trust pretty quickly and pretty effectively. And if we keep being in the ruinous empathy, let's look at what happened to Kate. Will she trust us after something like this? Unlikely. Also, with this relationship, if it bothers us more and more, will we really want to have this relationship going on? So it's really best to stick to the right top corner of both caring personally and challenging directly. Recently, somebody asked me, what do you do for a living? And I said, I'm a software engineering manager. And she said, oh man, I wouldn't be able to do your job. Like, telling people what they are doing wrong and judging them? And I said, you know what? I thought exactly the same thing. But now, when I see that through my actions, I see people grow, I see them blossom, and I see them succeeding, this is really one of the favorite parts of my job. If you would like to talk more about giving feedback and overall engineering culture, I'm here all day together with 50 other Googlers. Thank you.